I'm interrupting. It better be on.
It is on. Hi everyone, welcome to Photomode UNPLUGGED. We are your hosts, Ruben and Mick. Hi.
Hey,
The mic is on.
the mic better be on, because
It is on.
otherwise it's going to be a one-sided conversation. I'm not even recording it again. I'm just going to give my half, and that's it.
And people will have to look at my lips and try to
Good luck
decrypt.
on the audio-only version for that. Anyway,
Okay.
important question this week, I believe.
Important question?
An important question. Should virtual photographers be considered content creators? Hot topic.
Yes.
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 So thanks. So see you next week.
See ya.
That's the episode.
Bye.
No. So,
Why is it an hot topic?
well, there's been some discussion on it recently. But there's been discussion of this it comes and goes every now and then, doesn't it? Like, people want to be sort of acknowledged and things. But it popped up this week, I think, specifically because of the Ubisoft new program.
I think it was on Sunday that they posted the new rules, or that the creators program, their Ubisoft creators program, was opening up again.
Well, it's it's called the Ubisoft Creators Program Beta, so I presumed it was a new program.
Oh, I thought. Okay, so this might be on me. I thought this was like a continuation of their Star Player program.
It could be. It could be like a
like they
expansion
were
revamp.
just changing the name and that was it.
Maybe.
Okay.
It does say Creators Program Beta is growing and welcoming more creators. So it's obviously been a small sort of cohort to begin with, and now they're bringing in more. But there's specific requirements to that.
Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it?
It is. Well, whether it's a problem depends on your perspective, I guess.
Depends on what content you create.
Yes, and if that content happens to be video feeds like this,
if it's video, you are a content creator.
yes. So this venture would be our first ever attempt at content creation, apparently, because this one's got video.
I tried
Oh, of course, yes, that
that thing that I did.
Yeah, no, I was on it. I forgot about that.
You were on it 4 times.
I know, and then it ended, so that went well.
Okay,
But anyway,
I deserve that one.
eligibility criteria. So this is the weird thing. Like, streaming is obviously well established, but it's like it's become the only acceptable means of content creation. So their eligibility criteria, 18 plus, that's fine. And then a streamer with at least 20 viewers average per stream and 20 plus hours per month. So 5 hours a week.
The 20 viewers is hard to get per stream, like continuously. I got that number once through. Do you know what a raid is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So someone raided me and I got like 22 viewers for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then they started leaving. I only got double digits a few times, but it's a low number. But there is another number that is.
There's another number that's significantly higher, which is, so it's not just streamers they want, it's also video, so presumably just YouTube. But post-created, whatever, I don't know what you call them, but non-live videos. And they want at least 3,000 views per video average, not just as a peak, average of 3,000 per video, and more than 4 or more videos per month. So 1 video a week, which is basically what we do, and an average of 3,000 views per video. We're not eligible.
I blame our viewers. They are not viewing our show enough.
Yeah, exactly. You want virtual photography to be represented in the content creator program. View the videos.
again and on a loop.
Just
No, but the thing is, we read this and automatically think Twitch and YouTube, but there are other platforms and like TikTok. Why isn't TikTok videos like consider? You need to make three. Okay, so on TikTok, if you make 4 posts a month and get 3,000 views per video, that's actually not that hard.
Maybe it doesn't specify channels.
The platform.
Yeah, so some others do. So there's a website that I discovered when I've been searching for any of the sort of media outlets and PR agencies and things, and it's called lurkit.com, and they're supposed to connect content creators and the studios and the publishers and whatever. So they'll do paid content, they'll give out keys and everything. But you try and sign up, and the only options are to give a Twitch channel or a YouTube channel, and their requirements are a bit less. So Twitch is 250 followers and an account that's at least 90 days old. And the YouTube one, YouTube, is actually the same. So 250 subscribers. In theory, we're not far off that one now for this channel, so we could sign up for that. But my point is that it's still just those 2 channels, and it's like they've all just gone, oh, they're established now, and that'll do. We're not thinking about it any further.
Before the episode started, you were saying because video has established platforms and virtual photography and images don't, like, unless it's Instagram, but Instagram is kind of the everything app nowadays. So it's to me it's weird that those 2 are. It seems to me that they want to only partner with the next Ninja, the next PewDiePie, the next whatever that's going to go viral. And
I don't know. You always see this. We don't care what size you are. If you're just starting out, we want you. But you don't.
Because they want you to be small so that they can build you up.
I don't know.
And make money out of you.
Well, the make money part is why I think it's platform dependent, because it's something like it's all a form of marketing at the end of the day, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
These agencies are looking for people who can make games or brands visible, and it's a form of advertisement. So you want to be able to quantify that, and because otherwise you've got an unlimited number of people saying, I'm a content creator. You've got to have some sort of metric to decide who is and who isn't, at least to grade them. And those platforms make that really easy, because you've got a very visible number of subscribers, but you've also got a number of views current on a stream and over the lifetime of a video. You can even look at the total hours viewed of a channel, stuff like that. You take that to a social media platform when it's based on just likes, and that's, first of all, a less meaningful metric, I think, because it takes
you can buy likes.
You can buy them, so they can be totally fake. And like, well, I just don't think there's enough substance to that kind of metric. Do you know what I mean? Like, going off hours viewed is time of impression of that brand, essentially.
When Twitter made the views public, I saw some content creators saying it's actually a good thing, because they had to basically screenshot the analytics part of their posts and send them to the agencies that they want these kinds of partnerships. So we might start seeing more platforms being considered, but I don't think we are quite there yet.
I definitely agree that number of views on Twitter is a positive step for this. If you do want virtual photographers, or indeed anyone who deals in static image based content, to become recognized, not just in gaming, overall, having that, like you just said, that sort of ability to prove how visible the content was is important. So yeah, hopefully that will help. I don't know if Instagram's got anything. Don't think it shows that.
No,
because they even took away
it
the
has
number of
on the
likes.
Reels.
Right, yeah.
But you can even hide that. You can hide the number of views on your Reels, the number of likes. The only thing that you can't hide, as far as I know, but you can turn them off, is the number of comments. The rest you can hide them all. I do it.
Yeah. That's an option though. I guess if you wanted to use those things, you wouldn't be hiding them. But so we said jokingly at the start, obviously we think virtual photographers are content creators. Why is that?
Okay, I think the simple fact that you are creating your own content is enough. Like you are creating content out of a game, but it's your own composition. It's your own shot. About the ownership of that shot, we talked about it before, but it's yours. It's your vision. And contrary to most content creators nowadays, like what gets you engagement is controversy, is pointing out the flaws of that game, of that content. So I never seen someone like screenshot a glitch that isn't funny and go online and rage about the things that they don't like about that game. They don't make entire like four shots of what they don't like, complain about it and leave. No, we basically mostly post what we really like on a game.
There's a few things to consider in there. You've
Go
just
ahead.
laid out a whole episode worth.
I'm okay.
I'm going to go with the last thing first.
Next week episode.
Part 3.
Don't miss the next episode because we won't.
The last thing I think that you were saying was about the negative takes on things, and you certainly don't see it of anybody like putting together a gallery of like how bad this game is, and look, I've put on my website this gallery of this terrible game.
I've even seen virtual photography based on Gollum, the game Gollum.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that, but Gollum is like the worst review game of the year.
The reviews are bad, yeah. And as a video content, people will be all over that. Look how bad this game is. They'll make entire videos dedicated to it. But yeah, you're really onto a good point that people don't do that in photography. They're not going to just take loads of pictures of look at how bad the game is. They might do it once in a comparison. People like comparisons, right? You know, here's the trailer and here's what it looks like now, and I'm not going to play it anymore. But they wouldn't
there
dedicate
is a
a channel
lot
to
of
it.
that, but mostly when people do that is taking pictures that someone took of the game, not the virtual photographer posting that comparison. Never saw a virtual photographer making that comparison online.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that they should.
But it will be funny.
But I think the reason we don't see it is because there isn't really a motivation to do it. Whereas there is a motivation because, like you were saying, people like to make negative content because it gets attention. And the motivation to do that when there's a platform, say YouTube and Twitch, that you can monetize the videos, the motivation is because people, that draws in an audience. If you're slagging something off, that draws in an audience. So there isn't a motivation to post pictures of a bad game or to post bad pictures, because all it's really doing is looking like you're not a very good photographer, I guess. If there was a motivation, as in a monetization route that sort of drew in that audience, maybe then people would start doing it.
Ooh, that's a good counterpoint, but that's a maybe.
Oh, of course it's a maybe, but whatever is conceivable, I always apply this to whatever it is, no matter how improbable or even ridiculous any possibility is. someone out there will go and do
Yeah.
it. It's always.
That's especially on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But I do think that the virtual photographers, or whatever you want to be classed as, if you're a virtual photographer, if you're a screenshot artist, if you're a capture artist, because as a capture artist, you might do more than just stills anyway. You might capture some little cinematic sequences. Does this include like the industry serving ones as well? I don't think it does.
There was some discussion about that around the threads. We both read a few threads about this topic, and there was some discussion about like the classification of what is a virtual photographer, what is a screenshot artist, what is a game capture artist. I don't know. There are people that work for the industry that do this. Should they be considered content creators?
I would say not because they're not creating content, but because that's a different role. Whereas content creator is an external, it's a third party thing. And if you go and look in, so a good example, and I came across this when I was doing all of the research on the copyright ownership. If you look in the terms and conditions of a lot of games and publishers, they talk about user generated content, or UGC as they will phrase it. Now, user generated content would obviously never include content internally because it's not users. So that content creators are all about user generated stuff, I think. And whether that's video edits or opinion pieces or photo mode stuff, that is user generated and it's content. So I do think that anyone using a photo mode and then sharing that to a public channel or to a website is creating content and should be considered as such. I've got an idea that I've just thought of. I'm going to ask the AI.
Ooh.
I'm going to ask Microsoft Bing. Right.
Microsoft Bing. Yeah, they've got their own AI. So you want to try ChatGPT if you want. All right, I'm going to do what is... Never used one. A chat one? Never used.
No, not a chat one. I want a good one. Right, what is a content creator? A content creator is someone who creates entertaining or educational material to be expressed through any medium or channel. I'd say you fit that as a virtual photographer.
And the thing is, I'm always saying that my main goal with my virtual photography is to entertain. So
yeah,
yes.
Slightly different question. A content creator is responsible for producing material that engages consumers through written and visual storytelling.
Are we engaging them with visual storytelling? Are we
right now?
Okay, not.
I don't know. Not everybody does. That's not necessarily the definition that should determine the answer to this question. I do try to create stills that tell a story, and that part of the cinematic style is that you get a sense of what is happening there in that scene. It's a freeze frame from a scene is what I try and always imagine. If you're just sort of taking blind screenshots of the game thinking this looks pretty, then that doesn't necessarily fulfill that. But it's still creating content, isn't it?
Yeah, and entertaining people.
And exactly. It doesn't have to be anything about quality or style. That doesn't come into it. Because what is that content? It's a marketing tool, right? Like, it has the benefit for the studios and for publishers, all of those posts going out is free marketing. This is what always comes up, and it is.
Yeah, and another about the free marketing, and another thing that we came across a lot was the say the word.
Which word?
longevity,
Longevity?
longevity of the of that marketing that virtual photographers do. Like, I keep telling people about Horizon Zero Dawn being the most popular game for like 5 years straight before Forbidden West came out. Like, you saw Zero Dawn everywhere all of the time. And I think part of the reason why that game got so popular was because people were creating content of the game, in-game shots all of the time, like massively. Another good example is Kevin from Band Studios commented on
Thank you,
Colin. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I'm so sorry, Colin, for calling you Kevin. I'm so sorry. I Okay, so Shauna at Shauna_C_Jones on Twitter put out,
who works for Ubisoft, by the way. For anyone who's not
works for
aware.
Ubisoft as a community manager, put out a post saying, doing a thing again for virtual photography, but I need your comments. Why do you think there is a need for virtual photographers to be recognized as content creators? Please reply, retweet, and reshare. And Colin from Band Studios, virtual photography is the content today. Over 4 years later, and we still see Days Gone shots that keeps the community going while allowing us community managers to constantly engage with our players. It's a win-win. It's one of the best ways to show off a game with a long-term engagement. Like, and we have a person here that it is not just a community manager, is a community manager that started out as a virtual photographer.
And a blogger.
Yeah.
So,
and a blogger.
As a content creator, you may say.
As a
well, you know what? That's probably the best example of, for many reasons, of why, to answer Shauna's question, is why should they be considered as this? One, you take the all right, it's an extreme example, but of Colin. Going from being the content creator to actually getting involved and working for the studio, and that's a great success story. So that is maybe one positive reason why it could happen, because you're bringing it's a talent pool. You're actually finding that it's good for the studios because they can find people who've got a passion for their game.
You have some examples like Xenolith 3D. He started working at EA DICE as a screenshot artist after doing this for years. Like, you have examples of virtual photographers partnering with NVIDIA to promote their tools on PC. Like, it can happen.
It definitely can. And I'm sure that some studios are aware of that potential. Would people being recognized as a content creator change that? Because they can still go and see all of that content anyway without it necessarily being classified as such.
I'm not sure if it will help getting those opportunities, but the opportunities like partner with a studio to promote their games before release, if the photo mode is available before release. I think those chances are more likely to happen to people branded as a content creator, rather than people with the label of virtual photographer.
Yeah. It will probably help to bridge that gap, because at the minute there's a lot of people who say it's just my hobby and that's all it should ever be, and then there's people who do it for a living and there's people who don't think that it's even possible to do it as a living. I don't know why you would think that, because the game industry has literally depended on game capture since its inception. You can't sell a game. You cannot sell a game without showing it visually. You can't. There's no way to sell a game without showing it, is there? So, game capture in some form has been the most important marketing tool of all. But yeah, you've got that division in a way, haven't you, still? And having that middle ground of a sort of, I don't know, recognized status or something.
I think it comes down to that, to the status.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah, I think studios would look at, for instance, let's pretend that the thing that we both did for Santa Monica, the PlayStation blog post.
Yeah.
I think that would happen more often with other brands if we were like established content creators with that label. Other brands would look at that blog post and think, oh, it's not just people that take screenshots of video games. They are content creators. Because that's what in the end is. You have to pitch that sort of partnership to the suits that will.
The suits is the right answer there, because they don't necessarily look even at what that content is. They're just told on a sheet of paper, what's the benefits of working with these content creators? What do they do?
Something happened to your light.
That light doesn't need to be on anymore. Once gone. And that's where some sort of recognition would make a difference, because you're able then to be considered for these opportunities. But there's also the fact of, take the studio affiliations out of it completely, because a lot of people on YouTube and Twitch are very successful with no need for partnerships. They're monetizing a channel themselves.
Yeah, but in the end, you always need those kinds of partnerships to receive the games.
But that, not necessarily from a studio. This is where those agencies...
The publisher.
Well, even just the agencies. So that... whatever the one that was called that I mentioned earlier, I've forgotten the name. I've closed the tabs. But there's plenty of those kind of things that you can try and get keys for. There's Keymailer is a website, for example. Terminals.io, and there's two ways in usually. It's one as a press or media, so you're doing review coverage, and there's a lot of YouTube content that's based on that as well. And then the other side is just pure content creation. So like, you're not creating any brand, you're not having a website, you're literally just relying on a third-party platform. And they get keys from publishers and things, but they're like a central agency. This is interesting. I thought of this a while ago. Someone inevitably, in the end, given the growth of this medium, will create some sort of agency for virtual photographers. You've got agencies for real world photographers, and if someone who needs a job, they go to the agency. I need someone who can do X, Y, Z, and then the agency refers to people who've got those skills, who can do combat shots, who can do portraits, whatever, And that would only happen if people are recognized as something worth managing.
You shouldn't have said that on the show. Now people will steal our idea. Our idea.
Yes. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I remember Guru Shots, the app.
Yeah.
I always thought, why hasn't anyone done that for virtual photography? It's like, it baffles me that we are more virtual photographers with more talent than I do with other things. Don't look at what photography, traditional photography, is doing or has done already, and doesn't say, okay, let's do it. Let's do exactly that, but with virtual photography.
That's the trick. It's still neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's not fully about the gaming content,
Yeah.
even though it is, and it's not fully about the photographic exploitations. And it is this kind of weird limbo thing. Yeah, I don't know. But before I forget, because I just remembered what you were saying before about the longevity. You know,
Ooh.
I thought
the thing that I said. Okay.
It wasn't deliberate to draw out the answer to the longevity question.
If you ever thought these were planned, they aren't.
Yeah, we scripted the longevity answer to be very long. But because it made me think people do stick to a game for a long time in photo mode because they enjoy that game and they enjoy that character, and it works with their account, so they keep on sharing it. That's fine. That definitely works. And this is similar.
Called out.
Go on. What?
I feel called out.
No.
For God of War.
No.
And Spider-Man.
Not at all. It's a similar thing to when I said people don't post, bad elements because there's no motivation to do so. If there was a greater incentive as a content creator.
Yeah. Yes, that, but say it.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure you're going to be. I don't know if I'm saying the right one now.
You're saying the right. I'm sure you're saying what I was going to get at been saying for years.
No, I don't think it is. Then, all right, let me get to it. What I was going to say was, if there was more motivation as a content creator and more sort of routes to success, would that be driven by current trends? And that would actually stop people sticking. Like, would you still be posting Days Gone pictures if you could earn much more money posting Jedi Survivor pictures?
No, but it would make me stop. On one side, you have that as a downside. Yeah. As an upside, you have people like me who I've been posting God of War pictures for years now. I would stop with the God of War and shift to maybe games that I don't have that much interest on. Like a new Doom comes out. I'm skipping that. I'm skipping the new Doom. But if I have something to gain from that game, I will post it. And that's the problem. You have games with photo modes that are quickly forgotten because you have nothing to gain. Like I've been posting i5 Rush and Midnight Suns. Last week was Midnight Suns and this week is i5 Rush, whatever. And those games are failing hard. I have no reason to continue other than showing the game, the shots that I took and the ones that I like. But other than that, I have nothing to gain from it. So I'm moving on really quickly from them.
So it's the plus side of the same argument then, is it would maybe keep people showing other games for longer. Yeah. I definitely think the dynamics would change if there was more than just social media interactions. This then leads on to maybe what's the final question: is what is the motivation? Why do you want? Right, two questions actually. Do you want to be considered as a content creator?
I want to be considered.
Haven't you said creator. No to that before?
No, influencer.
Influencer. Yes.
I don't want to be considered. That was my whole argument a few episodes ago. I don't want to be considered an influencer. I want to be considered a content creator. Yeah. And the thing is, for some reason, the internet, not a single person, the entity that is the internet, decided that if you are on YouTube or Twitch, if you do video, you are a content creator. If you do images and you have a large social media follower, you are a freaking influencer. And that annoys me so freaking much. Why? Somewhere, someone decided, okay, these are the rules now.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And that's why you have Ubisoft with a content creator program that only allows for videos and not an influencer program.
Do you know what?
have some that have an influencer program, but they are yeah, this pisses me off. I'm glad. I'm so glad
Okay.
that I'm showing that this pisses me off.
I'm going to ask you that every week. So, update. Whether it's changed.
I will still consider.
Yeah. I think the reason is probably because those terms have come about retrospectively, as in they've been applied after the things that they're used for already existed. So, YouTube videos and streaming existed before the idea of content creator did. And they've been used as a label as to what is that they're doing. They're content creators. Instagram is where influencers really came from, and it's all the posing with brands and outside shops, and that's literally a influence to customers and consumers. And then to come along with posting game content that's not video, so it can't be that, because we've decided that those video people are content creators, and it's not really influencers, because
Who are we? We decided who
Not-
the
not
internet, the entity, the air, the ether.
that's the way it goes, isn't it? That's the way when things get established, and it comes back to those suits, and like someone's got to convince the suits, and you can only convince them with what's already there. So I think that's the trouble. The other question, which now is the last question, is what then is the motivation? We mentioned some of the benefits, but what do you think people want to get from being classed as a content creator?
In general, I think the large audience wants free games, free stuff. Some might be because of the status, some might be because of like relationship with the people that make the game. Some might see it as an entry point for the industry, if that's what you want in the end game. But I think it comes down to like the immediate goal is, if I'm considered a content creator, I might get free games, and games are expensive.
They are expensive, and that wasn't necessarily my main goal. But I remember early on, I always thought, I want to grow this into whatever I can, and if I end up getting some free games out of it, I'm doing something I already enjoy doing. So it's not like I'm putting myself through the mill to try and do something. I'm doing it anyway. If I get some free games out of it, then good. That's been a success. Once you do get that, you sort of think, oh, that's not enough, actually.
Yeah.
But like, that's probably the least likely thing to want to succeed with, like, because everybody wants to get free games. If you're going to go to these agencies and just say, hey, can I have a copy of that because, I'll do stuff for it.
No. The problem is you won't even receive the no. You will receive a,
You often get nothing, yeah. And that's just because the sheer volume of everybody wants that.
Yeah.
How you get beyond it is difficult. And usually there's some sort of metric required. So I don't know, like what will be the tipping point to make it be considered a part of content creation? Whether it's just a new platform, I can't see that coming anytime soon. Some sort of massive numbers, some partnerships. Partnerships is something then, like you were saying, relationships with students and things, but partnerships with any sort of PR agency. Because that's not, even if you're not getting the free games from it, if you've got, like the NVIDIA guys, they've got the partnership with NVIDIA, and that boosts their profile. And it's all about growth at the end of the day. So
I have no clue what the end goal is. That's a problem.
There probably isn't one. You want to just be like, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, when I achieve such a thing, when I get Kojima on the awards panel, then that's it. I pack up. There isn't a single goal. So
yeah, but I'm not saying the end goal of like posting games online, but like other than free games, like I got some really nice opportunities, more than a few. Like this week, I'm seeing the pre-premiere of Spider-Verse because of PlayStation. Like I got some chances, but like in the end, like what do I want from this is a really hard question to answer. It's like you said, anything that comes out of this, it's nice because I'm already doing something that I like.
I think I now know the answer. What you want is the next thing. It doesn't matter what you've achieved so far. You want the next thing.
Yeah.
And being part of any content creator platform is going to help you get to that next thing. And that's why it's important.
Yeah. That's a nice on that note.
Summary.
Yeah. Let's just bye.